Just want to say thank you for coming for her and all that. But I also wanted to say happy April Fool's Day.
Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Obliterating social norms and overrunning the cultural corrosion with righteous rhetoric and common sense. This is Overflow, the extended conversation covering life, today's newsbreakers, and the occasional banter with the most interesting members of the human species. Signaling from the conservative chasm of Central Valley, California. It's the outlaws your conscience warned you about. Let's welcome your hosts, Loto and PhillVill.
What's going on, everybody? Man, it is a beautiful day here in Fresno, California, with just a slight chill, and we are at episode 34.
Number 34, yes.
Man, oh my gosh, bro. These episodes are stacking up, PhillVill. So drip, brother.
We have a big show lined up today on Overflow XT podcast. We'll be talking about Trump, what's happening with the indictment and the news, the gag order, the reactions, and who's funding it, and the tragedy in Nashville. We're going to be addressing and talking about some of those issues there. We're going to be going over the follow-up of some important issues that Overflow has covered. And then Douglass Mackey, the meme that broke the law, and a whole lot more here on Overflow EXT podcast.
Awesome.
First, we had some great events that's taking place, and actually there was an event that you went to that we're talking about. It was a citywide event at Ratcliffe Stadium. What took place?
It was an amazing event, bro. It was great. I thank God for being a part of it. Shout out to Pastor Andrew Resort, all the churches. There were many churches out there. Had a great turnout, man. Zeke, bro, Zeke, too. Little Zeke, man. I mean, that young man, he ran the youth portion of the event, put an awesome youth service together for the whole event. It was an all-day event, bro, but it was awesome. There was so many families out there, so many vendors out there. You had Kingdom Talk out there, Dennis, man, from the show, man. It was just, it was great. Had just reached people with the gospel of Jesus, brother, and then, like you said, I was honored, to be a part of it, praying and sharing, sharing the love of God, with everyone there. I was truly blessed, being a part of it, and just, we got to see a lot of people, brother, that we both know I haven't seen forever. Marty's kid was out there, Pastor Marty, one of his boys was out there with his wife, got to hang out with them. Mana's was out there, Venture Church. So it was awesome. It was a good event. I was glad to be a part of it. But as you know, bro, that was only a part of an amazing weekend.
Yeah, and that was I know it was a blessing, but there was another reason why there was a blessing, because there was a special worship leader leading the youth.
Yep.
And who was that special worship leader?
Yes, we had our very own Pastor Angel, our youth pastor at Cornerstone Church, and our CY Fresno Cornerstone Youth worship team out there. And bro, man, they did so great, brother. You would have been so blessed just to watch them up there, just leading, a city in worship, So yeah, Angel did fantastic, and then we had Pastor Franklin, our very own Pastor Franklin, be a part of it, man. So it was a great family and community event.
You've been in juvenile hall for quite a bit, and what happened this past weekend? Yeah,
well, I'll let you share about that, bro, because everybody was here for me about that. But I want to say thank you, everyone. We asked you guys last week to pray for both myself, Phil, and the whole team going in there. And I want you to know God answered your prayers. It was a fantastic time in Christ, man. Those kids, they loved it. You knew that God was in the house, and you knew that they experienced the love of Jesus.
Yes.
But PhillVill, man, they hear from me all the time about juvenile hall. How was it for you, brother?
I'll tell you my reaction, but I just want to make sure those who are maybe just tuning in the first time. So Loto does go weekly to juvenile hall to minister to the kids, him and his wife and the team. They go and share the gospel. They do discipleship, great programs. But this was a special Easter Palm Sunday event. Now, what was it? It was church outdoors, and some of them haven't been outside for quite some time. But everybody got to come out. So we did about 5 services.
Yeah, 4 services.
Throughout the whole day. And they come
10
out.
10-hour day.
10 hour. Yeah, it's a pretty long day.
Yeah.
But the reward. I mean, the team came together. So there's a group of about 20 of us or so out there. We set up early with the sound system, the whole go all out with the instruments, microphones, everything. Music's playing, and they come out. We share the gospel, testimonies. We do worship. Of course, my wife did an amazing job.
Oh my gosh, bro, she was talking
about the victory of God, and the team, just the wide variety of backgrounds coming together. And I know I shared this with the team, but we talked about the music, special songs, the rap. Joey did rap.
Yes, amazing, man.
Yeah, powerful. But you gave an altar call one particular service, and everybody always responded. But for whatever reason, the way you did it, and I thought you were gonna do it again at one point, but you called. So I don't know if you know, but you can't see. You said you can't see. And
I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't know that, but you normally, you have them raise their hands. You can't see it, so you did something creative. They're sitting at tables, and you had them said, on the count of three, you had them pound. And pound the table in response to God. So 1, 2, 3, and all of a sudden, all the table was just like bum bum. But that meant like they wanted to give their heart to God. Man, that just got me right there, and I still feel it just seeing that, like, and their reaction. Yeah. I'm telling you, after you guys watching and listening, I mean, there's a revival happening behind the bars there with the youth, and also too the leaders there, the staff. Man, they're just pushing the gospel or creating an atmosphere for the gospel to be pushed with the ministry, Loto's ministry, right?
Praise God. Thank
you again for having us.
Oh, of course, bro. Of course. No, thank you for coming, man. I mean, worship is what sets the grounds, so. It was awesome, brother. You guys did fantastic, man. Like you said, Naomi, I was so blessed by your wife, man. She tore that place up, man, in leading worship, had great speakers. But yeah, the most important thing was those kids got to know Jesus. Staff was ministered to. We're matter of fact, man, we're going to have some of those kids at the drama with us this Saturday. Saturday of when this episode would drop. We have Jesus the Resurrection at church, at Cornerstone. Friday, Saturday, what is it? April 7th, 8th, and then and then of course our Resurrection Sunday. But yeah, bro, they're gonna let us bring some of those kids out to come in and experience the drama with us there at Cornerstone. So we're excited about it, man.
Yeah, I love Tracy was mentioning that talking about that, and she was so proud, and she one of the staff members, she's wearing the Loto Ministries t-shirt. She was like, I had to wear it for today, man. So she loves the team. She goes all out, loves on us, and it was just the hospitality there was amazing. I look forward to the next one.
Amen. Yeah, bro. Man, speaking of that shirt, man, for some reason now it's in high demand, bro. So get ready, everybody. We will have merches coming out. Philip already committed to making all our new merches, hats, and everything. But no, seriously, it's for some reason, man, we're just really experiencing revival in like a lot of different ways, bro. Yes. This whole event, it really touched me in a different way, man. It's caused me. This might sound weird, but what I've been saying is it's really made me dream again. Man. It's made me dream again, bro. Like that fire, we all have it in the beginning. It's like, man, we could do this, we could do this, we could do that, and just the way that this one panned out, I mean, I'm ready for the next one. Let's go today. Let's do it tomorrow. So again, bro, thank you for being a great part of it.
Okay, well, it's time for
it's your newsmakers and breakers.
The Trump indictment, Loto, is moving forward. It looks like it's going to go forward. They're going to arrest him, process him. And as of this recording, I think it's the eve of him going to New York there at the NYPD and turning himself in. What's your initial reaction for that?
They just wrote Trump's victory speech for when he becomes president. I'm amazed at these people and just how much they don't understand Trump or understand us. Just your regular Americans that's watching what's going on. You know what's really going on to me is that they're trying to Richard Nixon Trump, but all they're doing is they're just trumping themselves. Obviously, it's political. He's not going to get any significant amount of time. We're past the statute of limitation. This is a trumped up, pun intended, felony. And I mean, this is from the same DA who I believe has lessened 52 felonies in New York down to misdemeanors. And he took this one misdemeanor that, they find, and he trumped it all the way up to a felony. So it's political.
And here, they're trying to actually silence now Trump. It looks like they might, or they may issue a gag order, and if he breaks that gag order, they're going to put him in jail. There's a quote here in the New York Post. His name was Bachner, and he says, "What is happening to me is part of the election process, and therefore your gag order is interfering with my right to inform the voters of my position on certain things." So that's what he's saying, that Trump could basically have a fight on this, because it could be possible election interfering, because he needs to state his case of what's happening with him in the courts.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Trump's he's not a dummy. This is also political for him too. So, I mean, you think about it. When we first caught wind that he was going to be indicted, I mean, this guy raised $1.5 million for his campaign.
It's now at $5 million? I thought I heard the recent number. Man.
Oh, I don't know about the recent number, but I know when it was first announced about 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So, and if it's at $5 million now, I hope Trump does the decent thing and sends Alvin Bragg, a thank you letter or something, for being his best fundraiser.
Can you imagine?
This is literally Trump's number one fundraiser. Trump, $5 million now in the chest. Yeah. So why wouldn't Trump want, not want the gag order? Why wouldn't Trump want the mugshots? His opponents, they think that they want the mugshots. They want him in handcuffs. Oh no, bro. Nobody wants it more than Trump, because again, 1.5 million with just an announcement of an indictment. And if you're really asking me what I really think about this whole thing, it is exactly that. They're not after Trump. They're not after us. They're after the foundation of this nation. What they're really trying to do is attack the Constitution. Mm-hmm. They're really trying to break down our laws. They're trying to break the American way. And if they can do that, George Soros, who again put $1 million behind his Alvin Bragg's, this DA's campaign, that's what he wants. That's what he wants. And the thing is, it's about breaking down our laws. It's about destroying the Constitution. They don't care if Trump gets locked up or not. They're attacking now. There's precedence. Now there's precedence of a former president being indicted.
Yeah, they definitely do want to destroy our Constitution. You were mentioning a little bit earlier about he's raising some funds, but they're talking about funding. It looks like there's some funding taking place, at least a little bit. They found a letter from Bragg himself, saying there was a little bit of federal money possibly there, just funding the investigation. That's kind of weird coordination. Is that collusion with Trump? With the federal government?
Well, what that comes from is, remember, we reported to, I believe, a while back, Kevin McCarthy. Mm-hmm. When the indictment was first announced by Trump on True Social, Kevin McCarthy said, "Hey, you better not have any funding from the federals, a budget on this," because they wanted to make sure that they're not using funds they're not supposed to. Remember, bro, the DOJ didn't want to go after Trump for this. None of these people. Matter of fact, I believe, if I heard correctly, Alvin Bragg at one point encouraged a former DA that was going to go after Trump for this very thing, told him not to do it because there's no grounds, and so yes, so the federal didn't want to get involved. So yeah, it is pretty concerning now. Like, wait a minute, if the federal already said no, why is there federal money involved with this investigation?
Yeah, and even the House has subpoenaed him to appear before Congress, and he looks like he's not going to go. So is he breaking the law, not showing up for subpoena? They did put somebody like Bannon in jail, right? He went to trial for that.
They tried to, he's still going through it. He's appealed. They did, find him guilty, but he appealed. So yeah, no, I mean, bro, it's Washington. The double standard. This is nothing new, but hopefully we get to the bottom of this. And man, I cannot wait till November 2024.
And you're talking about maybe possibly facing some charges there with a subpoena, but also too there might be some additional charges. Alvin Bragg or grand jury. The conservative.com is reporting that maybe him and a grand jury member could face 5 years in prison.
Yeah, so the prosecutor might have some legal problems here. Yeah, it's crazy because they've been leaking. So I don't know, man. Leaking the whole that it's not new. So I'm really interested on seeing how this plays out. But my gosh, if they're looking at 5 years, yeah, let's see how quickly they arrest Trump if they're going to, or let's see how quickly they back up. But this is really interesting times. Again, I want to make sure that I emphasize how dangerous and what a sad time we're in now. Yeah. We have a former president that is now being indicted on these ridiculous charges. Again, that really at its best is a felony that's past statute of limitation by a DA who's not only funded by George Soros, but a DA who's been lessening felonies. In New York, I believe, again, 52% of the felonies there, he's lessened to a misdemeanor. It's a sad time in America right now.
Yeah, Manchin, even he was quoted here in WashingtonTimes.com that Manchin tiptoes around Trump's indictment because he says, quote unquote, no one's above the law, but no one should be targeted. I mean, that's right on. If he's saying he shouldn't be targeted, and it's pretty much he's calling it, right? Yeah.
It's interesting. Tiptoeing around. And we have another person that's doing the DeSantis dance. It's Ron himself.
Yeah, and Bill Maher, an entertainer out there, he is quoted here on FoxNews.com. Bill Maher fears Trump indictment will spark quote unquote cycle of revenge for future presidents. So he's saying the Republicans are going to use this to fight for the elections, and I think he's onto something like you're talking about.
Yeah, and they talk about even just reverse going back. I believe Bill Clinton paid what's her name? I think he had $800,000. So that's why this stuff is so dangerous. But again, they wanted a precedence.
I gotta mention, there's two more bills I'm talking about, but the second bill, Bill Barr, his quote here, he says he's interfering in a federal. Speaking about Braggett, okay, this is his quote. He's interfering with a federal election process, and his case is built on an alleged violation of federal law. He wouldn't be able to survive the statute of limitations and not be able to juice what is a misdemeanor into a felony without claiming there's a violation of federal law. So he says he doesn't have a case, and he can't win this.
Yes, Mr. Barr, thank you so much for throwing your responding and pointing out that it's a federal case. Who knows? Maybe that'll help Alvin Bragg make the case that's not a federal case, so they can arrest Trump. But thank you, sir, so much.
Yeah, and the third bill I'm going to mention right now, I'll put a meme on the screen. Bill Clinton, here you see Bill Clinton, and of course, and it says this with Paula Jones on the right. Bill Clinton paid Paula Jones $850,000 to go away, and it says in the bottom, I don't remember the FBI raiding his lawyer's office.
Yeah, so I mean, again, the double standard, it's the same old story with Washington and politics, so we just got to pray for our country, and we just got to pray that justice, prevails here, which I believe will. So while we were recording last week, there was a tragedy that struck, Phil, and that was the Nashville shooting at Covenant Private Christian School there. We have some footage there. I just want to warn the family, that it's a very sensitive video, so watch with caution.
Man, seeing that, doesn't that just brings chills down my spine? Just seeing her shoot down those doors, and the glass comes on in, and the camera is just caught it all on video. And that's heartbreaking, man. Just hearing about the kids that died and the staff that was there, and the one particular story on today.com, it just reminds us of the families that impacted a 9-year-old pastor's daughter among Nashville school shooting victims, and just pictures of those who passed away. Man, just breaks my heart. Your reaction?
It's sad. Anytime that there's a shooting, the police that showed up, I thank God for the heroes. It's very sad that we lost any life, but I'm thankful that we have, brave, police that will come into a situation like this, because, we have so many other examples, bro, of police that has not made, the best decisions and not responded the best way. I thank God because of the bravery, and the quick thinking of these police officers, there weren't more tragedies. I'm a little bit torn because not just this tragedy of people losing their lives, there's also another tragedy of some of the response to this.
Yes, right away, we're waiting for a response from our president, and you're looking to be encouraged. You're looking to find a little bit of a hope in a tragedy. And instead of that, this is what we got.
My name is Joe Biden. I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband. And I ate Jenny's ice cream, chocolate chip. I came down because I heard there was chocolate chip ice cream. By the way, I have a whole refrigerator full upstairs. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. God. Ben, how are you, pal? One of the best guys in the United States Congress, Ben Cardin. Folks, welcome to the White House. It's a delight to have you all here. And who are those good-looking kids back there? They're your kids, all four of them? Well, stand up, guys.
John, we'll jump back in here. Considering the moment,
we were told that the
shooting that just happened left 3 children dead, 3 adults dead, shooters dead, and we were told he would be addressing this off the top.
She used to be 3 years. Yeah, it's rather surprising. I thought that a somber President Biden would have come to the podium here and addressed this school shooting.
It's hard because I would like to hear all of it, in full context. I'm hoping he at least addressed the shooting. I'm hoping he at least, if not then, later on, he offered some comfort. Again, I'm sitting here and I'm just wondering, how would people feel if Trump did that? Just a double standard thing. But I having just said that, I don't want to turn this into what, he said, or this person did say that person said that. But this is our leader, folks. I can't even tell you how I feel right now, bro. I'm just sad. I'm too sad to really. I know I should be mad, upset, and all that, but this is so sad.
Yeah, he did go on and say he did address the shooting. The president then turned to the serious, and he did address it about the Covenant School, in which 3 students and 3 staff members were killed, calling it "quote unquote" sick. And he continued, "A family's worst nightmare before," demanding once again the Congress pass a ban on assault weapons. And after he read the prepared statement, he did again return to the subject of ice cream. I don't even know how you could do that.
I don't think anybody's surprised about the whole going right to the gun control and the gun laws and all that. What gun law were they going to come up with that was going to stop this? Unless you just totally remove guns from the public. Like what gun laws? Like which gun laws are you pointing to? We sound like a broken record, but over and over and over again, we point to places like Chicago, places where they have all these gun laws. They have all this gun control, yet they have the most gun violence. So, obviously, I think everybody pretty much knew that they were going to go to the gun law thing. How about just some comfort though? Let's just spend a little more time on the comforting, and then we can definitely get back to the politics and all that.
Right away, it became political about the guns, and right away, even from the president all the way to the press secretary, the White House here on FoxNews.com, the White House says the quote unquote trans community is under attack after Nashville shooting Loto, right after shooting up a Christian school, and they made it about the shooter because the shooter was identified as trans, and they were pointing out that the trans community is being under attack. So don't start targeting trans people because the shooter was trans, and they actually started playing a word game with that.
Okay, so she was trans, and so now the trans people are under attack, or they're the ones being persecuted. We have 6 people who died. And they were shot by somebody, but to me, it's like, it's almost like, who cares? Like if they were trans, if they were binary, if they were straight, like people died, I think that's the point, and let's do something about that. I don't know if this person, if she had mental problems, emotional problems, if there was a vengeance ploy, I don't know. But we got to start fixing this stuff. We can't just keep jumping to the political thing and start throwing out labels and all that. Everybody understands where I stand as far as, transsexual and all that. But man, I mean, I don't think our first go-to should be the sexuality thing, Let's give comfort, and then let's get to, get into the solutions and all that, and find out, okay, does sexuality, was their orientation a part of it, But it's just this automatic jumping right to the politics of it. That doesn't help anybody. It didn't help those kids.
Yeah, it's not helping them, and they're jumping to politics right away. And again, they're playing the word games. Some media outlets, the CBS execs, actually have given a ban to staffers to use the word transgender in the reporting in concerns of Nashville shooting. What does that say to them? What does that say? Are they actually being advocates of true journalism? This is not journalism. That's a quote from somebody saying they're calling out CBS of watering down the news.
They're not reporting the news anymore, bro. They're writing the narratives. They're writing the stories, They're authoring the stories according to their own political views. And that's what this means. Man, my goodness, they put a ban on something that, okay, let me get this right. So for the last 5-10 years, they've made everything about transsexuality.
Or racism.
It was all of that, right? And but we're talking about transsexual here.
Yeah.
And so they made it all about the whole transsexual thing. Even after Christians gets murdered by transsexual or somebody that's identified as other, but now they can't talk about the sexuality. Like now there's a ban on the now you can't talk. You want to talk about it like in every single thing. You've got it in all, even commercials now. You got the trans everywhere. And but now we're not supposed to mention that.
They're leaving out so many key details, right? There's a quote that says, right now, we advise saying police identified the suspect as 20-year-old Audrey Hale, who they shot and killed at the scene. So they won't even say the gender. They won't say trans. They are really keeping out a major part. They're always profiling anybody by race, by anybody by any kind of identity politics. But now when it comes to time of the shooting, they're not reporting all the facts.
Yeah, see, bro, this is really hard for me to respond to because my own experience, right? This thing is tragic. It is sad, not only for those that she shot, but even for this girl. Like, what type of mentality do you have to just do this, to go and shoot innocent people like this? I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure if she had psychiatric problems. I don't know if it was all of that, but I do know that she had problems. And this is across board. And this really needs to bring us to a bigger subject on mental health, which I'm glad that it is a big subject today. But man, we're addressing it and we're even medicating it, I think, in a lot of dangerous ways. Even that, PhillVill, is very concerning to me, because when you do have kids, again, back to the transsexual thing, when you have kids walking to some of these clinics and they share something like, oh, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, we have reports from those of this lifestyle that's telling us and reporting to us that kids will go in there for one thing, but they will be prescribed the gender affirmation care, and so again we have testimonies like Chloe's, who, man, these kids are put on these hormones. These kids are talked into getting operation that will completely change their lives forever, for the worse. We see the numbers of suicide for the worse. And kids who have gone through these transitions at 12 years old, 13 years old, when they hit 18 and 19 and realize, oh my gosh, I made a mistake. They cannot undo that. They can't reverse it. So man, it's really hard to deal with this problem, because even the solution has been contaminated by, again, the politics.
It is beyond I didn't even know what to say about CBS and the reporting, but they're not the only ones. The ABC, Terry Moran, he's talking about the school shooting. Right after the school shooting, I mean, the bodies are still there in the school. He was saying that the cause and effect had to do with the ban of Tennessee. That's can you say that legislation caused a shooting? It's just that's not news.
It's so dumb, bro. It is stupid because, and I'm sorry, man, but again, it's hard for me because of my own experience. I did things that were very, very, very bad, bro. That I've hurt people and all of that, bro. But again, in my mind, I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was, it was legitimate. I didn't know it was bad. I didn't know it was like, and again, I'm not making excuses for this lady. We're talking about 28-year-old lady, okay? We're talking about an adult, and I'm not making excuses for her, and I'm not turning her into the victim. But again, it's like, what was going through this person's mind, and I thank God he came into my life and renewed my mind, and my life has been transformed, but again, there's this needs to make us wonder how many more out there are dealing with, these issues, these mental issues, and it's like, honestly, at the end of the day, like the political, it doesn't matter.
Okay, we have some follow-ups to some stories here that we've had on Overflow EXT podcast. And the first one we're going to go over is the Chinese spy balloon. Well, that's exactly what it was. It was a spy balloon, even though at the time, Loto, if you recall, they were saying we're conspiracy theorists, we're overreacting. We didn't want to shoot that down because it was over a big old landmass and might hit a tree or something. I don't know. But
if they don't remember, just go back and look for the tinfoil hats.
That is right. The tinfoil hats. We got approached about that. Hey, where's the tinfoil hat?
Thank you, Mr. DJ.
Yeah, and the NBC News now not known for right leaning and actually not even in the middle, but it is far left. NBCnews.com is reporting. Yes,
not NBC.
Chinese spy balloon gathered intelligence from sensitive U.S. military sites despite U.S. efforts to block it. So we didn't.
That's NBC?
NBC is reporting that. Yeah, and everybody's kind of re-reporting that. And it seems like it's now news because they didn't want to raise these questions back then. But yeah, your response on the Chinese balloon.
Just my gosh, it's. I mean, who didn't know that wasn't a spy balloon? I think they tried to pass it off even as an alien before.
Oh yeah, and there was some newfound footage of the Chinese balloon. I mean, here we have some video rolling right now. Like Biden's going up the stairs. See that balloon? Oh, knocked him down. Oh, my bad. Man. Yeah, I don't know who created that, but they're very creative in coming up with these memes.
You know what I got a kick out of was MTG that showed up to the was it the State of the Union with balloons?
Man, they use them. I love that. Yes. We gotta get a balloon here. We can get a white balloon.
I was like, MTG's gangster, man. Matter of fact, I think that's really what the G stands for in their name, man.
True. And following up on Rainbow Land, Miley Cyrus has donated to LGBTQ organization that targets children after elementary school bans her Rainbow Land song.
That's cool. Amazing because I don't think Miley Cyrus has given anything to LGBTQ before. So wow, this really is breaking news. But seriously though, I honestly hope that she makes she adds a claw to that they use the money to give these kids who's going in for therapy to actually get real therapy before they try to put them to a process that's going to change their lives forever.
I don't know if you've done this before, but Build-A-Bear, you go take your date, your wife, or just take them your kid and you build your own custom bear. But now a new Build-A-Bear is turning heads because they have now a drag queen bear as an option. They even attacked, and it's actually based on RuPaul drag queen, offering that as an option.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Felipe, obviously you forgot about the band. You cannot say transgender. Can't say that. You can't say trans. Don't.
Okay.
There's a ban. So you
Not
so don't talk about transgender. Remember, do not say transgender.
Do not say. Okay,
don't
so
say it. Don't say it.
A very fashionable.
Don't say transgender. Don't say it.
Okay, I don't even know how to say it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Doesn't that surprise you, but not surprise you? They even have a drag queen, a Build-A-Bear.
Yeah. Look again. So it's America, right? And we're for freedom of speech. These are businesses. They want to do their business like this. It's fine. Yeah. My concern, though, which I think is the point of of this story being reported, these are kids that's it's been marketed to. But again, like, are we going to get into? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love this quote from Matt Walsh in regards to this topic. He says, "Remember, there's absolutely no agenda to groom your kids. Don't be ridiculous." On a unrelated note, Build-A-Bear is selling a drag queen stuffed bear for your children. Matt Walsh just always hits it on right away.
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
I wonder if you ever found out.
Yeah, I wonder if he found out what a woman is.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's crazy. I just real quick. I mean, I was going through my scroll this week, and you see trans promoting makeup. I mean, men pretending to be women, makeup, tampons, beer. I'm like, what? Yeah. So it's all these different things. I'm like, okay.
That was weird. What?
Spokespersons, trans. All right.
No, you lost me at tampons. I'm like, what?
We talked about that here. Yeah. It's required in all. Yeah, there've been two men selling tampons. You didn't know that?
Oh my God. You just broke the rule again, brother. Don't say trans. You can't say trans.
Well, we're going to transition into the next.
You almost did it again.
Oh, man. Okay. Another follow-up we have was a conservative social media influencer, Douglass Mackey, convicted of election interference. We talked about that here on Overflow, about how dangerous and how illegal a meme can become. Mm-hmm. Loto, do you still stand by your comments about jokes?
Yeah, this is dumb, but it's dangerous. This guy is going to jail for a joke. Yeah. For a joke that, I mean, okay, so should we just go through all social media and find,
satires,
other memes, and convict those people of the same thing? This is ridiculous. This is what you get when you're actually a good communicator on a certain side of the political aisle, and it is sad, bro. This is it's a sad day.
Yeah, here's a quote from Greg Price. Douglass Mackey was just found out guilty on federal crime. He was charged with by DOJ for tweeting the meme on the left during a 2016 election. The lady on the right has never been arrested for her tweet that also came during the 2016 election. I have posted here right now on the screen, and she's had a similar type of meme. It's double standard. For
my blind folk, bro, can you read what the meme was?
So the one that did a very similar post tweeted, elections 2016 and text in your vote. Text votes are legit, or vote tomorrow on Super Wednesday. So you could say that was that election interference. It's a double standard. She's just joking. Nobody could take that serious. She's being sarcastic, right?
Yeah, but it's sad. That's what he gets for being effective, though.
Matt Taibbi, if you don't know if you heard that, Matt Taibbi was in front of Congress, right, testifying. At the same time, the IRS makes a strange house call at his house. Your reaction?
For those of you that don't know who Matt Taibbi is, Matt Taibbi is one of the reporters that Elon Musk gave the files over to, secret files or the documents, that exposed a lot of the government's interaction with the people that ran Twitter before Elon Musk. So. Yeah. We're thankful, man. I believe it was Bannon that said that Elon Musk, he didn't buy a social media platform. He bought a crime scene. And with all those documents that came out, it showed that, So the reason why we have a lot of the revelations that we have today that expose a lot of these things, that's putting a lot of these certain folks in trouble, is because of this exposure. And Matt Taibbi was a big part of that. And the people that suffered from that are people in government. And it is pretty interesting, the timing that, again, the IRS gives him a visit while he's literally sitting in Congress giving testimony about his knowledge, of certain things that goes on with the government.
Yeah, again, Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberger were there at testifying, and this was one of the tweets from Michael. And he says, while MTV, Matt Taibbi and I were testifying before Congress on the weaponization of the federal government, an IRS agent showed up at his house. What an amazing coincidence. And then Elon Musk tweeted back, that's very odd.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any witness tampering maybe going on or intimidation, so
yeah.
This stuff is definitely scary. And this is why we need to stay, alert and do exactly what a lot of us have been doing. That's been vocal and using our voices, because that's what they're trying to take from us.
Here's an additional one for a follow-up here for the Parental Bill of Rights. And there was some controversy, and even Matt Gaetz went on Charlie Kirk's radio show / podcast.
Firebrand. Okay.
Here we go.
You voted also against the Republican Parents' Bill of Rights. Tell us why.
Because the federal government has no role in education. Don't get me started on this, Charlie. I am so frustrated that we seem to be throwing the Constitution out the window and our semblance of federalism with the belief that we're going to make the United States Congress America's school board. You may like what's in the Parents' Bill of Rights now, but when Democrats take over, there's going to be, the right to have gender blockers delivered by the school nurse to your kid, the right for your kid to go to a place where gun violence isn't glorified. So any other parent that wants to coach the ball team or be a room mom that wears a Second Amendment shirt is going to be deemed a domestic terrorist.
I see what Matt Gaetz is saying, and Charlie says he acknowledges the principle what he's saying, because that bigger government and the government stepping in the school. But you would think that as is, because he says that it's fine, we already have the power, but I don't think we do. I mean, you can see it that the school districts are having the power to take away rights of parents, and I think the new bill is reaffirming what the rights of parents need to be or we're entitled to have.
Like you said, bro, I completely understand what the firebrand Matt Gaetz is saying. I agree with him, but also with Charlie, he makes a valid point, which I think I'm leaning more towards to, and that's that. Yes, of course, we don't want these departments that all it does really is just destroys what's supposed to actually help. We don't want them around forever, but at least for the near future, they're going to be here. And I'm not sure how consequential this parental bill is, but with the parental bill, everything on it is legit. I don't think it's going to make kids drop out of school or give kids excuse to not excel in school. This is what we have a Congress for. We voted these people in, and I believe that they are doing the job of representing us. I thank God that they're not like the previous Congress where they just did whatever they wanted to do.
Loto, you have been a fan of the WWE for a very long time. As long as I've known you, I remember going to your house and I'm hearing all this ruckus going on. I'm like, what is going on? And I see you come in, you're jumping off the couch, acting out the moves, pretending to, do backbreakers and all that. All right. Do you remember those times?
I thought you were going to talk about me actually playing the video games with the kids.
That's true. I do remember that one too. But here, if you guys don't know, Loto is very good at playing video games.
Right. Don't tell them that. Then they won't bet me their money. But no, serious. Yeah. As far as jumping off the couch, I don't know. Maybe that was I was working out with Maria or something. But yeah. Okay. So what's the news?
Yeah. So WWE and UFC parent Endeavor announced plan now. They're planning to merge with a $21.4 billion deal. Yeah. So the World Wrestling Entertainment and Endeavor, the parent company that runs mixed martial arts, they're going to be merging, making a multi-billion-dollar, even companies even bigger. Are you excited about this?
I'm excited, bro. I have different emotions, right? So that's why I'll let that joking with WWE slide because I love you so much. But no, WWE is a personal thing with me, and I've always been a fan because for those of us Samoan boys that are that's from the islands that were there, and growing up over there, that was really our only time, that we got to spend for me with my grandpa. In Samoa back then, we only had 2 channels. One channel played wrestling, the other channel played soap operas. And so it was cool, man. Like I would just sit there I remember, I think even back at 2 years old, 3, 4 years old, and watching wrestling. So yeah, it's definitely in the blood. Got a lot of good friends, that's in wrestling, even in WWE. I love it when they come to town, get to see them. I'm really interested in this merge. I do remember when White was Dana White was really concerned to have anything to do with WWE because he didn't want anyone to think that the MMA was fixed. So I remember when I told Maria, I was like, these guys are gonna end up like WWE, because for those of us that are marks and we're fans of this thing, you know things like heels and baby faces and and all of that. Once I started seeing, bro, their entrance and how they would push people as the good guy, and then other people would be pushed as the bad guy. That's when you start becoming like WWE, which again was ironic because Brock Lesnar, who's a legit fighter. That guy is a combat fighter. The fact that he had anything to do with WWE, don't let that fool you. This guy is a legit beast. He's a collegiate championship multiple times. I mean, pretty undefeated, I believe. I think he was undefeated the whole time. But yeah, so he went over after he conquered WWE. He went over to UFC. After a few fights, took on the champion over there and took over, the UFC as their champion there. So the ironic thing about how Dana White did, and this is how they didn't want to look like WWE. So after his fight when he beat the champion, he got into the champion's face and Brock Lesnar starts yelling at him and in the wrestling world we call it promoting, right? Yeah. And so he's yelling at him and telling him, "Yeah, I just beat you," and just tore him down, and everybody booed Brock Lesnar. They weren't used to that. He yells at him. And he got in trouble for that afterwards. He was told, "Man, this is not WWE. Don't you be bringing that stuff over here." But now you got good guys and bad guys in UFC. So man, but yeah, so there's a lot of things, bro. I don't know if you know this. There's a contract that Vince McMahon actually just got. For those that don't know, Vince McMahon just came back to WWE. He got in some really bad trouble. He's finally back. They gave him a new contract. But now I understand why. I was wondering why are they doing this, but now I get it. It's a part of the sale. So he's gonna make some nice money too, bro.
Yeah, he's overseeing the potential sale.
Well, the contract. Yeah, definitely. He gets $11 to $12 million from it for signing the contract.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They said WWE said Manchin paid the company back $17.4 million to cover costs related to an investigation that you alluded to about the misconduct. Yes, but he's going to make a big killing off of that because it's huge. Like I don't have the numbers.
Do you know how much?
No, I don't know that one.
Man, bro, it is crazy. So because he has stocks, he has the most stocks. He's the majority owner. This guy's gonna walk away with over $2 billion, bro. Whoa. But this guy right here, he's done earned it, bro. He is a genius with this business, this industry. Vince McMahon took WWE now from his dad. He bought the company for his dad, which was under another name. Oh gosh, I wish I remembered what it was. A lot of people think it started off as WWF. No, that was actually the second name after. So WWF, a little bit of history here. He got it. He turned it to WWF. So people are wondering, well, why did it change? Because there was another nonprofit organization called Wild Foundation. It was. I believe they had to do with animals and all that. So they sued Vince because they had the name first. So then that's why he had to change it to World Wrestling Entertainment. But yeah, so he took this company, which was really just going from circus to circus, bro, from his dad, took it regional, turned it national, made it global. Man, walking away with over $2 billion.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is that crazy or what, bro?
I'm looking at billions of dollars just at stake here, even because they set the standard. The social media powerhouse by itself. Last quarter, they had over 16 billion social video views just for a final quarter of last year.
Gosh,
yeah,
yes,
and they're just one event, the WrestleMania, their main event they have.
They just had one yesterday.
One event brings in revenue of $1.3 billion. That's more than one movie in the opening weekend. Yeah, a few weeks actually.
Yeah.
So it's the numbers.
I wish this was a wrestling podcast. There's so much cool, interesting things that a lot of people don't know. But yeah. So, anyways, man, I am pretty interested about this this whole merge. I kind of crack up because they were UFC was so anti WWE. Like if WWE was a stepchild, and all that, But Vince did tell Dana White, if you really want to have a successful business like this, you have to be able to control the results and outcomes. And
they won because several others were up for it. They're looking at Disney, Fox, Comcast, Amazon, even Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund were all looking at purchasing that. And the one that you said that was the unlikely one got it. So they're merging together. They're originally making lots of money.
Endeavor, right?
Endeavor, yeah.
Yep, I believe it's Endeavor. And then I think they don't have a name for the new business for the merge, but I do know they had the ticker symbol. For those of you that wants to look into stocks, that's your thing. I believe they're under the ticker sign TKO, so that's pretty easy. Right.
Well, another ban might be coming our way. I remember we talked about this past year about them banning a lot of places, even New York is completely banned it, is gas stoves, and people are crying out, "You're touching my food." And now that they have tried to sway us from coming from incandescent light bulbs,
air conditioning,
the air conditioning one too. But even now, the incandescent light bulbs are they're trying to be changed out into LED light bulbs, even though LED light bulbs are a lot more expensive. So now they're trying to ban light bulbs, the regular light bulbs, completely. Do you think they're overreaching again, or this is just not a bright idea?
Who are they to tell us which light bulbs we can use and we can't? This is crazy. So I don't know if this is really going to go anywhere. I think America is tired of this, and America is not just going to sit around anymore. Let the customer decide what they want to buy or not.
Well, that's it for
It's your newsmakers and breakers.
50 years ago, there was a first call was made on a cell phone, made historic. It has changed the world ever since. Loto, 50 years ago, what'd you think back then and think about that now?
I remember when I first saw my first mobile phone.
This big giant.
My pop came home. He came home with this humongous thing. It was like a brick, it's connected to a bag. It was wired to a bag. And I was like, what is that? And I looked at it, I was like, oh man. And then it turned on, lit up. I was like, oh wow, what is this? And so that was the first one. Do you remember your first one?
My first one?
Seeing the first one?
I remember seeing. I remember like a suitcase cell phone. I go, what is that? It was like a briefcase. It looked like a spy novel type of thing. Yeah, it was huge phones.
Yeah.
And I remember it before the iPhone came out, it was trying to make the phone smaller. You remember the little Razor one and the flip phone? I mean, it was just so different.
No. What was your first phone? Do you remember your first?
My first phone?
Yes.
I knew it had to be a flip phone. I don't remember. It had to be Motorola, maybe.
No, do you remember getting it?
Yeah. Because you know what? I was happy because I remember the transition from moving from pager to a cell phone. I remember I had a pager. Now, you get your first. Remember that? You remember that transition? Did you have that transition?
Yeah, for the streaming generation, the pagers are from Philip's Blockbuster generation. Those are little tiny box things. Yeah, that would just chirp when somebody trying to buzz you or call you. Except I love pagers, bro. You know what my favorite thing about pagers is?
What's that?
You didn't have to pick up. You didn't have to answer.
True.
You know,
and being creative, and you could spell hello with numbers.
Oh yeah, that was
right.
Yeah, hello, all kinds of different things. I do remember my first cell phone. I believe it was Patrick. It was Pat Linehan that took me to.
Okay. Yeah.
Matter of fact, I still remember the store right there. Car stereo on First and Belmont. I think it was it Tony? Oh man, I forget the salesperson's name. Yeah.
Man, you remember the salesperson's name?
Yeah. Oh, bro, my first cell phone, man. I thought I reached the top tier class. You know, I was like, man, but yeah, graduated from a pager to a mobile phone.
I remember the pagers. I don't know if you remember the pagers. There's two different types. There's one that you page beep beep, but the first one before that, I thought it was just voice. So you speak on the phone, and then it will send it, and the voice memo will pop up. Do you remember that?
Wow.
So I remember. Oh my gosh.
Serious?
I remember, so my mom would call my dad when they were married. Sorry, love my mom, but she was like, "When are you coming home?" So we'd be at a side job. You hear his phone goes off in front of clients, whatever, painting the room, whatever. When are you coming home? And the pager, like, oh man, yeah, it's like my mom would be yelling at me, "Bring Felipe home." Yeah, but that was my pager stories there. But yeah, I remember that.
Gosh.
The journey of cell phones, right?
Yeah, so I gotta share my can I share a story?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the best prank I think I've ever pulled, man.
Oh no.
So it was Maria's birthday.
Okay.
Right? And so you could only leave voicemails on there, right? And so I remember I invited everybody to Denny's and say, "Hey man, come to Denny's, we're gonna celebrate it. I'm actually gonna celebrate it early because she won't be here on her actual birthday. So we're gonna celebrate it about a week and a half early." So I gave them the time, the date, bro, and I invited people from the church.
What?
Well, the crew we used to hang out with and all that, right?
Yeah.
All showed up. I didn't show up. I wasn't there yet. I wasn't there.
Okay, you were okay.
Yeah,
right.
I wasn't there. So I was. They were waiting there, and then I was at home, and I was just cracking up. I was giving it time, waiting. I was like, okay.
Oh, seriously.
So then, the way we got our messages, right? Our pagers. So remember we used to call it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can dial the number, call, punch in the PIN code.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for the messages. And bro, one message. So I hit play. It was my sister. She left a message on there. It says, "I told you guys. I knew it." You know what the greeting said?
What?
It said, "Hey, everybody, who you reached. And if you showed up to Maria's birthday party, just want to say thank you for coming for her, and all that. But I also wanted to say Happy April Fool's Day."
That's too funny.
Yeah, man. And then so I told you guys that. Yeah, everybody's like, what?
Are you serious?
Oh my gosh, yeah, bro. So a few people there.
Fools.
Yeah. Like I said, we celebrate early. It was on April Fool's, bro. I was Happy April Fool's Day. And I didn't. Yeah, nobody came to any of my events after that for a while, bro. It's been a long time, But
okay. To protect the names, I won't say who's involved.
Wow.
But I remember we were on staff at a church called Lovingstone, and then
what's going on?
And then a great pastors there, Pastor Kirk Franklin.
Wow.
And then, I just kidding. Changing names. We're at my in-laws' house, and we're on staff there. And, we have a good buddy, DJ Prince.
Yes.
Robert.
Yes.
Yeah, Robert
man,
Medina.
My boy.
He knows how.
My boy.
So.
That's Elise Nino, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. So he says something like, I broke up. I was at work and my fingers got cut or something. Like big old tragedy. And I'm like, no, serious? And so, oh man, so we're at So Naomi, she calls the pastors. We got to get to the hospital. So he got Pastor Rudy, got Pastor Franklin, and they're all like, okay, we're gonna drop everything and go rush to the hospital where Robert was. So I was like, man, this is serious. It's our friend Robert. We played worship together and drums with us and known from high school. Got to rush to the hospital. We're ready to all go to the hospital. And Robert, we're on our way and message him. And he goes, oh, no, are you serious, man? It was just April Fool's joke. You told the pastors about it? Tell the pastors I was I'm paraphrasing the story. But so, man. He goes, but I feel so honored and special that they'll come see me at the hospital.
I remember
but that's April Fool's joke gone too far. Yeah. But so we had great pastors though, willing to do it. But that's
praise God. So 50 years.
Yes, huh? 50 years. And I remember having Windows.
Oh my God.
A Windows phone that had a screen. This is iPhone. So you could click on the email 1, 2, 3, click. I'm waiting for that email. It's waiting. It's coming. Almost there. You have to refresh it. And everybody's lucky to have iPhones now, right?
Yeah.
Remember your first one?
I remember my first one.
Pre-Siri.
Yeah. I remember my first one was a Razor.
Okay.
No, it wasn't a Razor. It was actually a Qualcomm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't a Razor. It was pretty thick. It was sort of a flat screen.
Yeah.
Kind of like a bubble. But yes, so back then, before I had Series, I had to get phones that keypads were really embossed. That way, I could tell which digit is which.
Oh yeah.
And then the talk buttons and all that, and then hallelujah, Jesus, Apple came along, and I really thank God for Apple, bro. I'm a strong advocate for Apple phones. Definitely will not say that about Androids. Maria's the Android person.
That's crazy. Been trying to convert for many years.
Still praying for transformation for her life.
Jesus' name.
I always say if it wasn't for Apple, because they always talk about, you like that, Apple, Eden, they always throw that at us. Apple caused us to fall and all that. Well, I like to say that if it wasn't for the Apple, we'd all be droids. Because we'd all be robots and have no choice, But I remember I've always been really not any kind of Google phones, which Droid was back then, because the whole Sorrel connection.
Yeah.
That's when and I told Rhea, about it. I said, no, because she was why don't you get a Google phone? Why don't you get a Droid, But I found out that he was a really he had a lot to do with the whole Google thing and the Droid phone. So ever since then I've just been, I guess you could say Android, but that might be too harsh because I don't hate Android, especially now that they moved away from Google. But man, Apple though, I will always tout their goods because they really showed the blind community a lot of love.
Yeah,
they went out of their way, and Droid and Google actually took a long time. I don't know if they thought it wasn't worth it. But because Apple saw, more history lessons here. So Series actually comes from a phone setting of Apple way back in the days called Double Tap. So Double Tap was where for blind people, where when a sighted person scrolls a screen and you touch the screen, it selects whatever you touch, right?
Yeah.
So the double tap, what that does is prevents that from happening for a blind person, because if we're touching everything, we're opening or selecting everything. But no, you touch, it reads to you what button you're touching or what app you're touching. Then you boom, you double tap, to open that up.
Yeah.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the ancestor of Series or voiceover. So
I remember you
turned into voiceover. Yeah. And so that's where, all the automated stuff that we all hear today was really, Apple had a lot to do with that. That's it again, bro. I'm an Apple fan.
Yeah.
So anyways, man. Yeah. I do remember, my first phone, it was a Qualcomm phone.
And that's where Siri became part of your life, or
changed my life.
Yes. And Maria shares you with Siri. Right?
Yes. Yeah. She's always been to Siri, man. And we have Alexa too now.
Yeah. Oh man.
But you know what? Hey, they do half of her work, so I would be grateful,
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm grateful too for Siri, not for the same reasons, because I love the very convenience. But it was actually just I think I told you this before, but 2 years ago,
yeah,
a light bulb came on because I used to get really upset with Siri. I mean, I'd be driving out of town. I'm like, Siri, take me to Sacramento. I mean, it wouldn't work. I go, it doesn't work. Maybe because my mumbling, my stumbling or whatever. She would not listen to me. Maria. Siri, can you imagine? Siri, find me a pizza place. She wouldn't help me. So I'd be and then I'm like, Naomi, my wife, she's like, I go, what? Siri doesn't work for me. I don't know how you get it to work, but it doesn't work for me. I never can use it. Do I have to turn it on? And she goes, you're supposed to say, hey Siri.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, so the whole time I could have been using Siri. The whole time. Like the whole time. It was like, so I remember.
Now I understand.
Yes.
Why you keep saying that now. You don't have to say that anymore. You just say Siri now. That's why. Yeah, because then you always say that. I was like, I wonder why you keep saying hey Siri. You don't have to say hey Siri no more.
Okay,
you can just say Siri
at the time. Yes.
Yeah.
You mean it's reversed again? I was right the first time.
Yeah, man. No, yeah. So it's it's so funny. You know one of my favorite things to wake up to?
What's that?
I love waking up to Maria arguing with Alexa and Siri.
I can imagine that right there. Maria's personality.
Alexa, be quiet, Alexa. I'm like, babe, you're arguing with the AI. Ooh, that's another scary. We'll go over that next week, man.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of AI stuff. Oh my gosh, yeah. Transhumanism, all of that, man. But man, what a show, bro. Praise God, man. Wow. But 50 years, you know. Before we wrap it up, I just want to encourage the family real quick. We're talking about, mobile phones and it being 50 years and all that. For those of you that have the phone or any form of communication, please don't wait 50 years for you to use that on the people that you love. Philip knows this about me. My favorite ministry, I love, preaching on stages. I love traveling the world, doing mission trip. I love being in juvenile hall, and all that. My favorite ministry, however, is the 5-minute ministry. How long does it take you just to make a phone call? How long does it take you just to send a text? Use that gift that God's really blessed us with, and I know a lot of people, oh no, it's cursed and there's so much evil. Don't blame the phone. Don't blame the device. It's usually a user's problem, not the equipment. It's up to us what we use these things for. So just want to encourage you guys, man, to send a text, or make a phone call to mom. It's going to be Resurrection Sunday, that, coming up. So call mom and tell mom the good news that you're going to go to church with her, But seriously, man, and especially because there's some of us, right, PhillVill?
Yeah.
Who, as much as we want to call mom, there's nobody on the other side to answer it. So while you still have your loved ones, make sure that you call them to let them know how much you mean to you, so that you don't sit there regretting how you meant to. Phil?
So true. I do miss those phone calls. And I know I shared that story here before, but the last phone call I heard my mom's voice was the opportunity, last opportunity. Naomi said, you want to talk on the phone? Oh, we'll talk later. It was the short story. We can talk later. But yeah, I love that. We got to reach out and touch someone. AT&T would say, or but yeah, you gotta use that phone. We use the phone for so many different things.
Send a meme. Don't get arrested over it though.
Yeah, Instagram, social media.
Sure it's not interfering with the elections and stuff.
Okay, we have fun with social media, which is fine. But I think I love that you get to send texts, but don't forget, be personable. Phone calls. You and I, when we talk on the phone, we can decide, are we doing the A through Z conversation? Because we can have a lot to talk about all the time.
And usually it's just like 15 minutes yelling at me and all that. Pretty much it.
I remember one time you go, why are you yelling at me? Oh, I'm just excited. I don't know. But yeah.
Turn your volume up, bro.
I'm about talking to myself. You're like somewhere else. You muted me. But man, hey, great show today, man.
Praise God,
That's
bro.
good. Great show today, and thank you so much for you reaching out and listening to this podcast or watching us. Get the word out. God is doing something here again. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to go to church this weekend. And we'll see you next time here on Overflow. Loto.
Yes, matter of fact, get over there to YouTube, punch up the link, and text the link. All right, love you all. Happy Resurrection season. Lord bless.
You've been listening to Overflow, the extended conversation, obliterating social norms, and overrunning the cultural corrosion with righteous rhetoric and common sense. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hit us up on social media at OverflowEXT. Lord bless, and we'll see you next time on Overflow, the extended conversation.